What's going on, you guys? In this video, I'm going to talk about something that really changed the way I approached my training for the better, greatly progressed my workouts, and ultimately kind of gave me the results I was searching for in my workouts. And I'm always doing this. Even the backdrop of this video, you're going to see a typical workout. When it's not a follow-along workout for this video, this training philosophy is kind of always going through my head. And this really applies to really any type of training, especially resistance training, but it also for sure applies to the total gym and other sliding bench trainers as well. So I'm going to break down these concepts and philosophies in this video, and I'll give you guys some solutions to kind of help you guys kind of steer this way if you guys want to maybe take and use this stuff as you guys please. But as always, please like and or subscribe down below, and for sure share your own comments on some other training motivations and concepts and some things that really helped you progress and are getting you the results you need in your workout. So I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say, especially when it comes to home gym training, which gets a little bit unique compared to like going to the gym when you have all this extra stuff around you. Now, I would say there's like kind of one overarching theme to what I'm getting into in this video that did change everything for me, but I would say technically there's kind of two different branches of what I'm going to be getting into. The first thing being that I started realizing I was holding myself back in my own beliefs and what I was learning up until that point about resistance training to really getting the progress I wanted. Part of that came from just growing up in like, the 90s to early 2000s where bodybuilding magazines, professional bodybuilders were like kind of the guru of information. Certainly got information from the gym as well. But pretty much back then, everyone was following kind of black and white kind of templates, traditional kind of templates that for sure have their place and they're great kind of building a foundation. And even now you'd say it's kind of the opposite problem where almost you have too much information kind of coming at someone where you're almost paralyzed by analysis. And both of these things are kind of two sides of the coin of an issue, which is people kind of losing that individualistic approach or that level of autonomy or self-regulation in their training. And so for years, I was doing these things by the book. Yes, I was getting some progress, but not nearly as much progress once I kind of learned this fundamental lesson. And I learned this lesson initially from working out with a friend who kind of woke me up to what he was doing, which was very unorthodox at the time, which at least it seemed unorthodox, not through like different exercises and stuff, although that was kind of part of it. It was, he was doing things like drop sets, supersets, a lot more higher volume than I was used to, or heavier weight than I was used to, that I was progressively kind of used to getting in a certain workout. Just totally kind of mixing things up. I'm not saying for the sake of being random, but mixing things up in the sense of doing whatever was possible, wherever you had to do to stress that specific area to really work the muscle. And once I started doing that, and then along with learning other things throughout the years, like bodybuilding, Olympic lifting, trying different implements like strongman lifts, all the different types of like unique things that were coming out, like especially old Indian clubs, like suspension trainers, progressive calisthenics, all this stuff. I started taking all those things and then blending it into my workouts for the stuff that really worked for me. And when I say worked, worked is kind of relative. Yes, it was getting me progress, but also worked in the sense that it was making my workouts fun and interesting and really just made me consistent and didn't make my workouts stale or dull and just boring. And that's what kind of leads me into like kind of like the sub part two of what the thing I learned, which is basically kind of making my own Jeet Kune Do basically. And if you guys know what Jeet Kune Do is, what I'm talking about, the famous martial artist Bruce Lee made his own martial art that was called Jeet Kune Do, and there's a lot of different kind of like quotes that associate with this, but one of the things he kind of said in that was basically he would take in what was useful and disregard what was useless. So he was kind of the first like mixed martial artist. And one time working out with my brother, he would see me working out, we're doing a workout together, and he's trying to understand like what I'm doing, which is something a lot of people even to this day, my friends when they work out with me, they're trying to figure out like, hey, what program, what's the method to your madness? And when they find out it is not random, but somewhat individualized, my brother actually told me one time we were training years ago, like, well, you're kind of doing your own little Jeet Kune Do. And that's exactly what I'm doing. It's not like I'm following no program. To give another Bruce Lee analogy or quote, he used to say his martial art was using no way as way. And that's kind of what I'm saying. I mean, I have a program, but it's using this kind of like zero program template of just taking every training session is going to be unique and doing whatever I have to do to kind of not just work the muscle that need to be worked, but also just kind of make the workout interesting and engaging for myself. So how this all kind of relates back to the total gym and sliding bench training and even this channel, a lot of stuff that I've been seeing, especially with people just on the internet in general, is that they might watch maybe my videos or they look like the total gym infomercials or they got that total gym wall chart. And they just kind of pick, just kind of going through a template. They'll kind of grab a couple things here and there because they want to work certain body parts, which I understand, getting that foundation is important. But then they kind of just stick to this kind of very black and white template of what they're doing. And they don't try and self-learn the things that really work for them. So here are some recommendations using not just a total gym, but you can apply this to anything that I think might help kind of drive home these points I'm trying to get at. And the first thing I would say is basically find what exercises work for you. Not just the exercise, but even the reps, tempo, the stress you're putting on the muscle. Find those things that work. If something does not work, just disregard it. I'm not saying there's not a time and a place to kind of incorporate and just try and incorporate it again, but for the most part, there's a lot of exercises I'll try, even things I think are really, really good, but either they take too much time to set up or they're not really worth the effort to kind of put into it, versus I can find something else to do. A number of reasons, but the point I'm saying is if something isn't work for you, disregard it and move on to something else. You can put it in the back burner, come back to it later, but otherwise just disregard it. Point number 2 sounds a little heretical, and especially given the fact that I kind of given you guys programs on this channel and will continue to do so, is don't follow a program. I'm not saying never to do this, but it definitely is helpful to just kind of take a different conceptual approach to your training. Maybe you might have a subtle program, which is I do, like one day I'll just be upper body, one day is kind of lower body. That in itself is kind of a program, but don't follow to like rigid set numbers of reps and sets. Try and do whatever you have to do to kind of, again, not just make the workout, hard, but also interesting and engaging for yourself. The next point also is gonna seem a little hypocritical given the nature of this channel, but basically try new things. And yes, I do, the total gym is like 90+% of my training, but that's for a good reason, because I found that it's hitting in all the cylinders I wanna work. Especially the equipment that I got here. Yes, I'm gonna grab and choose and utilize some other things from here and there. I don't force 90+% of my training into the total gym. It just happens to work out that way, just given the nature of the workouts and how much I really enjoy them and I'm seeing results from it. But if that's not you and you wanna try some other stuff, the total gym's getting kind of boring, you wanna mix in some other stuff, or you're just simply not seeing the results you're wanting, for sure mix in some other stuff. Don't stay a purist in some area that not only it's not getting the results, but you're just getting kind of boring and stagnant. That's a big reason when I used to be really into Olympic lifting and powerlifting, I kind of transitioned out of them. It just started training wasn't fun, and if it's not fun, that's really the root of everything I'm doing in my exercise. If it's not fun, I'm just really not gonna stick with it. The next point is gonna be basically work out with somebody or hire a good qualified personal trainer in some way. And the reason I say that is, yes, I mean, there's a lot of things I loved. I just really got into working out because it was very much an individual thing. I liked the individuality of just working out in general. But that first point I said in this video, I would not have recognized and learned the things I did had I not spent some time working out with someone who pushed me a little bit harder and just taught me a couple little things. Hopefully this channel provides you some little good tips that you guys can utilize, but I in no way want this to be a crutch where you're relying on everything that I'm saying. So, hire somebody, definitely work out with somebody, a friend who you think can push you to another limit or teach you something different. Because definitely I would say, yeah, I don't generally like working out with people that are just kind of just going through the motions of simply working out, but we all learn a lot from each other. So definitely I would say incorporate, see if you can gather some other information from other people and then incorporate it into your own training. All right, the next thing can really apply to a number of different areas and this can kind of branch out, but basically just do a little more. For me early on, learning that I could do and handle a lot more volume was a big thing, but not just like volume. It's sometimes you have the idea of like junk volume, which is just doing a bunch of extra reps and sets for the sake of doing them. Yeah, that I wouldn't say I agree with that, but if you're kind of holding yourself back, again, with this like template of a program in your head, doing more could mean just more exercise, more reps, more sets, a little bit more weight, and just, again, finding things that just make a little bit more things that just make the workout a little more interesting as well. And finally, the thing I would say, especially if you're talking about the total gym, is take time off the machine. This, again, can mean a number of different things. It can mean trying other things. It can mean taking more rest days. Not for the sense of just like taking time off to quote unquote like switch things up, but also coming back where you're just gonna be stronger and doing essentially more work. Not just more work on the machine, but maybe find something else, something little that just kind of tricks you into doing more work. This thing I recently picked up, like this Iron Chessmaster thing, whatever. I'm finding that definitely, aside from just making me super sore when I first initially used it, I am getting a little used to it, but one thing it is making me doing, just because it's fun and a little more something new and interesting, I'm doing way more push-ups than I used to, simply because it's something new and different, unique. So incorporate, find different things to kind of add to your gym, take time off from the machine if you have to, or just take some more other training days off, because that's another problem I didn't get into, is that we get so hung up on like, well, I gotta do my program to this day, I'm gonna miss a day, and you guys know this a lot, if you take a couple days off, when you kind of, for other reason, traveling or whatever, you force the 2 days off, you come back pretty fresh, and then you also feel just better than you were before. That's it, you guys. Might be a little more of a ranty video, so I apologize, but also really want to make it a conversation video, so please share down below, especially if you guys that are working out at home, because I know that's going to be a hard motivational factor for some people. What are the things that keep you guys motivated? What keeps you guys coming back day in and day out, working out in like your basement like I am, or in your garage? Definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about it, and especially any of the devices or training modalities that you guys find also to be pretty just motivating in itself. That's it though, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.